side here.
I think the Twins are absolutely the right side. Minnesota 11-2 their last 13 games. In 9 of those games, they scored 7 runs or more. They're absolutely hitting the lights out of the baseball. We've talked numerous times about Zach Davies and how the metric guys are waiting for him to regress. Well, all those metric guys were happy as they could be in his last start because he got shelled for 6 runs in 3 innings. Unfortunately, if they bet against him, the Brewers ended up coming back in that game 11-9 to bite the metrics guys again. But I'm going to go ahead and take Smeltzer in this one. You know I love the guys, and I didn't realize about the quirky delivery. That just makes it that much better to go him. I like taking the guys that they've never seen before, and when you add a lefty, which is even better, and then the quirky delivery.
I could do a demonstration of it, but nobody would see it.
Yeah, well, I would.
Well, yeah, but it's a quirky delivery anyway.
So I'm on Minnesota in this one, Dave, and they're 14-2 this season in the role of a favorite of less than 150.
Jeff Sherman joining us right now. Nice enough to join us before he heads away on vacation. Follow Jeff on Twitter at Golf Odds. Will you be tweeting while you're on vacation, Jeff?
Oh, come on. You can't stop me. I got too much information to pass along.
Well, I mean, your timeline is jammed because you're posting odds on everything, and it's just a great follow. Let's talk a little NBA Finals to start off. And Marco has an interesting thought on how maybe you should bet this series. So, Marco, I'm going to let you throw this at Jeff and see what he thinks.
Well, Jeff, obviously we're looking at the Warriors at minus 300 for the series. If you think the Warriors are going to win the series, I think there's a good bet, instead of laying the 300 with the Warriors, to go ahead and just take Curry as the MVP minus 140 because...
Is it minus 140?
It's minus 140 for the MVP. If they win, somebody's going to have a superhero performance in the finals to take away the MVP from Curry. He has never won the NBA Finals MVP. I just don't see, somebody doing that. I think that's a safer bet than laying the 300.
Yeah, the only drawback I have to that angle is I think with Toronto's defense, they're going to concentrate on really trying to frustrate Curry a lot and make other guys beat him. And it's going to take, like you said, almost heroic efforts from Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, something like that. We're still uncertain about Durant now. He's out game 1. He's traveling with the team. I don't know if that means he might be ready game 2 or down the road. I still personally don't think he's going to play in the series, but
neither do I.
There's just a lot of unknowns regarding that. And I think the number one forefront thing on Toronto's side is to really make it frustrating on Steph Curry.
So I'm a square when it comes to the NBA. I really am. I am Joe Public in the NBA. With that said, I'm looking at this and I'm going, boy, do I think Toronto has a 1-4 shot of winning this series? And the answer is no. I just don't think they can beat Golden State 4 times. So why am I wrong at looking at this and saying the Warriors are actually, I won't say a bargain, but it's not inflated value to me, or inflated negative value to me at minus 300.
Well, you can look at it from the standpoint that we saw last series for Golden State when they were without Durant, that they were down in the last 3 games by double digits to a Portland team that is not as good as Toronto. And Portland really was more in that series than getting swept 4-0.
Okay.
And so Toronto, from a defensive standpoint, just from an overall standpoint, they're going to frustrate Golden State. I think this is going to be a closer series than a lot of people are giving credit. Now, I picked the Warriors in 6, but I don't think it's going to be 4 easy wins and then a couple just games stolen by the Raptors. I think Toronto's going to give them everything they can handle, and it wouldn't surprise me to see it go 7.
What about from a betting standpoint? Where is the action right now in terms of the money in Game 1 and also in the series?
Well, in Game 1, we opened the Warriors as a 1-point favorite, and we've swung around to Toronto -1, and I understand that move there. From our perspective, too, this almost looks like a must-win for Toronto. If they lose this game, go down 0-1, they're going to have a lot of pressure to have to win that second home game to not go down 0-2. So I think that you're going to get more of an effort out of the gate from the Toronto side. It's not as imperative from Golden State side. And one of the things I played was Toronto in the first half in this one at Pick'em. And as far as the series goes, we're seeing a majority of the play on the Warriors -$3. We're still getting ample support for Toronto, but it's a little bit more on the Warriors side.
Jeff, I almost went the same direction as you. I went just a little step further. I went to Toronto first quarter, and my thinking is you've had that 10-day layoff for Golden State, the old rest versus rust scenario.
Maybe kind of like last night's game in
like
the NHL.
The Bruins, exactly. In Toronto, you saw how the town went absolutely crazy on Saturday night whenever they won to advance to the NBA Finals. I think that building's going to be absolutely electric for Game 1, and then all of the hype about Toronto and how bad they've been in Game 1s, I think they're really going to have a concerted effort to get out of the blocks quickly in that game. So I think the first quarter is the way to go in that one with Toronto. I trust them more for a quarter than I do a half or game.
I absolutely agree with you on that side. I mean, I did the first half, and I'm looking at the first quarter too. And one of the other positions I took was under in the first half because of the long layoff for both teams.
Are there any Drake props out there, and how much is he worth in the point spread?
Oh, geez, you had to go there, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I wish we could put some up, but it's not allowed in this jurisdiction, so we have to pass on that.
NHL last night. I don't know where your liability is at Superbook USA as far as the NHL finals are concerned, but if you've got liability on the Blues, you might be smiling this morning. I mean, look, it's a long series. It's only one game, but, man, I'm telling you, coming out of that game, it's really tough to see St. Louis beating this Bruins team 4 times.
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, I think it's going to be a long series for St. Louis, and we're up to minus 310 on the series price for Boston and plus 250 on St. Louis. And we're actually sitting okay where we do really well on Boston, and we're a small winner on St. Louis for the Stanley Cup futures. When we had the long odds in January, a lot of people got bet on. We had one $20 ticket at 300 to 1, not much else, so it really didn't add up here like it did at other properties. So we're in a good position on this, needing Boston, and I do have a difficult time seeing St. Louis winning 4 games in this series.
Jeff, the WNBA got underway over the weekend, and our own Las Vegas Aces got off to a great start. A lot of hype surrounding the team after the trade.
And she didn't even play.
Yeah. Is the action at the window supporting the hype?
It has been so far. We've seen, especially in the futures, the Aces, they're down to 3-2 favorite here. And, Cam Bayes didn't play last game. Now, Candace Parker didn't play for the Sparks, so each team was missing their best player. But it's still indicative of the Aces leading the whole game by double digits against a good LA team. So, the Aces are a warranted favorite for the championship this year. They've got the last 3 number 1 overall selections on their team, plus Liz Cambage that should be ready for the game at Phoenix on Friday. And, you can make the case with the NBA trying to get super teams that the Aces are really the super team of the WNBA.
Watch the golf this past weekend. After the fact, this is always easy, but you talk about a horse for the course. Kevin Na on short tracks where precision is really important, is really good. And 50 to 1, he was a steal. And he was brilliant. I'm glad to see the Las Vegas win his 3rd PGA event. Now we head to the Memorial, and here's one where the Bombers might be able to take over. So I'm going to throw a name at you right away as we head into this preview. I like Luke List, and is this a course that would favor him because he hits the ball a mile?
Yeah, it would be. Now, it's important that you have to be accurate off the tee and not just hit it long. The winning scores around 15 under par. It can be somewhat of a challenging course, but it's basically shot makers and accuracy off the tee. He fits a bill. He should do well. We have him listed at 60 to 1, and my largest position myself is Patrick Cantley. I have him at 20 to 1 this week.
I like Cantley.
That's one of my larger positions I've played this year is Cantley. I bet him in some matchups also. And I think, he's heading into the U.S. Open as he'll be a hot commodity. That's one of the guys that I played in the U.S. Open too in the 40 to 50 to 1 range, and he's down to 30 to 1. So he's going to be one of the guys that are going to be on a lot of people's radars in the next couple of weeks.
And, of course, this is a tournament that attracts a lot of really good players. So, if you want to, Luke List is obviously a long shot at 60 to 1. But if you like those 20 to 30 to 1 types, there's some good ones out there this week in a tournament where it's probably going to be a star-studded leaderboard.
Yeah, and we start out with Rory McIlroy as a 10 to 1 favorite, so everyone's in double digits. But just like you mentioned, you get Tony Finau, who did well last week at 20 to 1, Jordan Spieth somewhat returning to form at 20-1. Xander Schauffele at 25. DeChambeau, who's out of form right now, up to 30-1. But there are plenty of quality golfers in the 20 to 30, even 50-1 range.
Jeff, heading over to soccer, the new futures are out for the EPL. Tell us about that. And then, of course, the soccer match of the week. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I just got up the EPL futures since we had the last promotion event on Monday, where Aston Villa is the last team out of the 20. So all the clubs are set for next year. So I opened up Man City as a 5-8 minus 160 favorite. Liverpool at 5-2 right behind them. So the two teams that had quality this past season are leading the way. And as far as this week goes, this is the climax to the season, really. We've got the UEFA Europa League final. That's tomorrow with Arsenal and Chelsea, two English teams. Chelsea's a pick minus 140 favorite. And then to finish off the season on Saturday with the UEFA Champions League final, two more English teams, Tottenham and Liverpool. Liverpool's minus a half, minus 110. If you want to bet it on the outright price, Liverpool minus 220, Tottenham plus 180.
And another event that's now on the board, the College World Series. The conference championships are all decided. We now have the beginning of the field for the College World Series. Still a ways to go till they get to Omaha. But this is a sport where volume is on the rise the last few years. More people following College World Series with the ability to watch so many games now. And I anticipate some pretty good action on this year's CWS.
Yeah, we've already seen some in the future book. And Eric and Cameron here, they got it up yesterday with UCLA and Vanderbilt. 8-1 favorites, Arkansas 12-1 up from there. And the games themselves start this Friday with a large slate, and we'll have those games up Friday morning. So anyone interested in college baseball will have their fix.
Jeff, you've had the NFL Games of the Year out. You getting any action on any particular games?
It's been somewhat minimal. We've only taken 4 limit wagers so far. Dallas minus 3 against Green Bay in Week 5. The Patriots minus 6 against the Browns in Week 8. The Jets minus 2.5 against the Giants in Week 10, and the Rams minus 6 against the Ravens in Week 12. Other than that, it's been a little bit quiet at this point in the season.
So what's the vacation agenda look like?
Right now, it's going to be relaxing a little bit. I'm going to get out to watch the Champions League final on Saturday, and Christy and I look like we might try to get out of town and head up to Zion for a few days.
There you go. That sounds nice. Well, especially now that it's finally starting to heat up here. It'll be nice to get a break. Sounds good.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. So 2 weeks away, and we'll have John and Eric fill you in. Eric, week of the U.S. Open, because he's one of the golf guys here, and he'll have plenty of information to share. That's
going to be great. Jeff, have a good vacation. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, and say hi to Christy for us.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Jeff Sherman. Follow him on Twitter at Golf Odds. Great follow if you want to know what the current lines are. Good opinions as well from Jeff, again, on Twitter at Golf Odds, and his site is golfodds.com. Time for a break, and then Joe's Angl of the Day, and we'll take a look at tonight's West Coast Major League Baseball.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
I'm with Cliff Miller from MJ Christensen at Boca Park. Cliff, I'm an old guy. I got some old jewelry. Any ideas what I can do with it?
Oh, absolutely. One of our largest categories is custom design. My son Rusty does it all. And it's the most incredible thing to see styles that are 30, 40 years old that people haven't worn in years and see what he creates out of those diamonds, precious gems, and that metal. And you will be sparkling and feel top of the world when you leave MJ Christensen.
MJ Christensen, located at Boca Park.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than just serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable. Serving part-time lets you attend school full-time while you take advantage of education benefits that can help you graduate debt-free. If a civilian career is your goal, serving part-time allows you to work at a full-time job. The skills, qualities, and contacts you'll develop in the Guard can open doors to a great civilian career. Want to serve but worried about being away from friends and family? Part-time service in the Army National Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want while you enjoy the many benefits of serving your community and nation. You owe it to yourself to learn more about how the Army National Guard can fit into your life. Visit NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Nevada Army National Guard. Aired by the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Century 21, Gavish Real Estate.
Gavish? That's Gavish. Hi, this is Ido Gavish with Century 21 Gavish Real Estate. Whether you're looking to maximize every dollar out of your sale or just need money to get out of the country, we will buy your home from you. Here at Century 21 Gavish Real Estate, we are so confident in our marketing program, if we don't sell your home in 30 days or less, we will buy it from you. Don't want to wait 30 days? Is the condition of your home less than perfect?